Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm using a bit of a mixture of things. I've got some Spellbinders dies, I've got a Simon embossing folder, a Tim Holtz movers and shapers from the old days, and I've previously done a load of hot foiling with some Spellbinders hot foil plates, one of their Christmas sets from a few years ago. So what I'm going to do, and the nice thing about Spellbinders, is that you can usually, with most of the dies, if not all of them, you can actually emboss as well as stencil with the dies. So I've put the die back over the piece that I cut out, the foiled piece, and I'm using some gathered twigs just around the edges to give you that sort of layered look without being a layer. So it helps when you've got less on your card, or you don't want the bulk on your card, in layers. So just getting that ink around the edges there, just with a finger dauber thing, and then rubbing off the excess over the, that would be sitting on top of the foiled areas. And that just gives it a nice little layered look without actually having a layer. And then I'm going to ink around the edges of my little deer as well in the, my cat, in the gathered twigs. And I cut it out with some sort of grey cardstock that I had just spare. I'm also going to go around the edge of the little sentiment strip that I made. I just cut this with a paper trimmer after I'd hot foiled the sentiments. I think I have done a couple of videos on hot foiling. It was just way too hot recently to actually do that on camera. So hence why I just made a whole bunch of sentiments. So I'm going to do another old school thing and just take the ink pack direct to the embossed piece of cardstock. So this is just some green cardstock that I embossed with the Simon Says Stamp embossing folder from one of the kits a few months ago. It's like a Scandinavian Christmas or something. And then I'm just going to take a paper towel over the top, just get rid of some of the excess ink, just because oxide ink, like all distress inks, tends to take a little while to dry. So this makes it just a little easier to handle, and you don't get ink quite so many places, although you can see it on my desk there. So it still gets everywhere, but it was a little easier. And then I've got a standard A2 size card in a sort of navy colour. Then I'm going to pop up the piece that we've created with the Spellbinder dies. It's one of the labels dies from many years ago, like when they first started bringing out all the labels dies and things like that. I was hooked. So I've been a huge fan since. It's just been difficult to get some of their product here. That was my cat, by the way. So I also decided that because there isn't any other white showing up really on this card, I decided that the edges of that piece needed to be inked a little bit, and you still get that layered look, but it's not as severe, if you know what I mean, like not as bright as it would be. Sorry, I have my cat in here and he's a bit of a he's a boy. So, and then I'm going to pop that somewhat centered, but like at the top, like centered at the top. And then my sentiment, I'm going to just use some this is lawn fawn tape, and it's quite strong tape. So I thought I would just use that on the bottom there, especially if you're going over an embossed piece. You need a stronger tape or a wet glue. A wet adhesive would work as well, which I could have done because I have this here. Now I'm just going to stick the deer onto the popped up piece, and this will just add to the sort of Christmassy feel of this card. And this came together better than I thought it was going to do, so I was quite chuffed in the end. But I hope you've enjoyed this. This is kind of combining a bit of distressing and foiling, which is unusual, but I like it. It turned out cute. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye for now.